What's up, Magmen Club? We are back here on another Friday with y'all. We do these every single Friday, so make sure you guys show up for the conversation. Make sure you guys communicate with us here in the chat. We're totally happy to include you guys in this conversation. If you guys have any insights, you want to ask any questions, make sure you do so below. If there's any topics you guys want us to cover, make sure you let us know in the chat here. So today we're talking all about how attention is your greatest currency. I know that we've done this topic in the past. We might have even done lives and stuff on it. So it's something we just kind of want to circle back around to and cover again, because I feel like this is a major topic in this space. And this is something that a lot of guys kind of misconstrued. I think a lot of women kind of misconstrued. Women, obviously, when it comes to women, currency is validation. Like, that's really all they want. And so that's why attention is your greatest currency, and where you put your attention can matter a lot more than you think it does. This is my good friend Jared here to talk to you guys about this subject.
What's up, kids? Hope everyone's going to have an amazing weekend. And I think one of the reasons why we decided to do this is because it keeps coming back into our YouTube feed as people keep watching this one. And we posted it, 7 months ago or something like that.
Oh, so easy. It was one of the early ones.
It's one that keeps getting up. And really, it's one of the things that I consistently see men doing wrong. And it's such an easy fix. As Chase said, it's not only our currency, it's really our asset. It's really the only thing we can do as men in so many different ways. And I see a lot of men just giving their attention away to women, to even opportunities. They're just scattered, almost like a squirrel. And a lot of it has to really do more for women, because this dynamic is a lot about interpersonal relationships, but it's more about social media. It's if you're dating somebody or married to somebody, at this point, the only thing you really can control is your attention. And if you give your attention away free like water, then it's really worth nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
And, I see this all the time on social media. Some of the coaching that I do kind of evolves around attention. Especially breakups. One of the first things I tell guys if they're going into a breakup or their girlfriend or wife wants to divorce them, immediately no contact. And what is that? You're immediately removing your attention, all forms of your attention, cut it right off. And I see it again on, Facebook's a big one, all of them, a girl is pretty, great, awesome. Good for her. She's got 33,000 likes. If you go through it, I would say easily 98% are all thirsty men hearting her picture, saying goddess, saying, oh my God, I'd do anything to have you. You're taking those few moments that you have and you're choosing to edify somebody you don't even know. And she doesn't even care. That's even the best part. She doesn't even care.
Well, it's an unequal exchange, right? So you're giving her your attention, you're giving her your likes. Oh, you're so gorgeous, this and that and the other thing, right? And that really cheapens who you are. That cheapens how you come off to her, how she perceives you and that kind of stuff too. Because the thing is, like, she wants attention from anybody, obviously. In most cases, they want attention from anybody. But how do you think, like, the value and status of a man plays into that too?
Well, if I was a female, kind of put myself in that, and the same guy is always hearting and liking and commenting on my posts. Now, let's just say he's good looking. Let's just say you just became friends on Facebook. I don't know. And he's liking a post. Okay, cool. No problem. What do you think women do? They look at your feed and they'll look at your mutual friends and they'll say, oh, well, he's saying the same thing to Beth. He's saying the same thing to Karen. He's saying the same thing to Angie. So she's immediately going to be turned off. She's like, this guy is so thirsty. Anybody will do. Any hole will work for him. And so it conveys a lot of things. If I was a girl and me looking at this, you have no value. You're not considered high value at all, because the one thing that you have, you've cheapened it. You watered down your brand so much that nobody's going to take you seriously. And then the flip side, if you are in a relationship or married and you're giving your attention to another female, I know the argument could be, well, it's innocent, he just hearted it, or he just liked, her picture. But what if your wife did that, or your girlfriend hearted some other dude's picture?
Right.
It's also about respect for your partner. If you are in a relationship, just there's no point. What would be the point of hearting or liking or commenting on another female unless she's like your cousin or like a family member? There's no point. And so you really have no value. I mean, the only thing we really have is our attention and what we decide to focus on. And if we're just focusing aimlessly on all these women and all this other stuff, then that just conveys you're simp, number one. But really, you're like 98% of all the men out there. And our goal is to get you in the top, I'll say 95. Our goal is to get in the top 5%.
Well, yeah, I think that the reason for that too, though, is the fact that like women want attention, yes, but women want attention from men they respect. If they don't respect you, they could care less about your attention.
Right.
Like, I mean, obviously they get that every day. It validates them to a certain extent, but like you're just another number in the pile, right? You're not really special. You're not really anybody. She's not noticing you. Right. And so I think that that's really it. Like, how do you get her to notice you? How do you come off to her like you are a high value man? Like you're somebody who is respected, who is to be respected.
Well, there's a lot of different ways to frame this one. A lot of it, I'll use my girlfriend. She'll probably hate me for this, but whatever. When this is about a year ago, before we started dating, it was in May. I just noticed I'm doing my thing. I'm running this channel, posting stuff. I'm posting a lot about my ideas. Never once am I posting with my shirt off. Never once am I posting emotional vomit. Never once am I posting the problems in my life. I'm posting something, uplifting or an idea and all this. And I just happened to notice this blonde liking a couple of my things. And so I'm like, okay, she's cute. Okay, And so then I messaged her. And then we went out, blah, blah, blah. But even during the initial courtship, I still didn't like her shit at all. And she was kind of like, wow, I just posted this picture. He didn't like it. And probably a month or two later, she kind of brought it up. And it's the same thing. I'm limiting my attention to you. I don't know about you yet. Like we're in a relationship, we're in the beginning of the relationship, but I don't need to vomit all my attention to you. And that drew her more because she's like, oh, well, Rob and Bill, that her little fan club, are always hearting and liking her shit, but she doesn't give them a time of day. And here I am kind of in the background. We're dating, we're getting to know each other, and I'm still limiting my attention. And so it conveys to a girl, especially if she looks into my feed too. If we just became friends probably a month or two prior to that. She's never seen me hearting and liking other people's stuff prior to that. So because they will look. Then they'll start saying, okay, this guy, he's on social media, but he's not. Like he's not all over the place. He does a post and that's about it. To them, it conveys that you have a message, you're focused on whatever that message is, and then you get off the platform. You're not there going through every girl's feed, liking. They watch this. The best investigators are women. They'll find fucking dirt on you.
They go down the rabbit hole. They go to every single social media, yeah.
Right. So that's one way to convey value is, listen, it's harder and harder to meet people these days. It's weird because we're the most connected we've ever been, but we're the most distance we've ever been.
You got to do more to stand out nowadays. That's the
You
biggest
have
thing
to
too.
do.
Is there's so much of it.
Yeah, you have to do more to stand out. So social media, a lot of it is really just being positive on social media, keeping your posts positive, keeping them light. If you have something to say, put it up there. But that's really not where you're going to convey like your value. Your value is, and actually the other the videos is, the 5 traits of a high value man. And a lot of that is just, who is this guy? They'll say, okay, well, he owns this company. That's intriguing. One of the things is, if a woman likes you, she's going to make it easy for you. She's not going to make it very hard. She's going to make it easy. She might message you and just ask a question. Hey, what is this Magnetic Men Club thing? Like, she's just interested. Bam, conversation. But if you're just messaging girls all over the place, hey, you're hot. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. Are you single? Are you married? They hear this 1,000 times a day. It doesn't even register with them. It's kind of like telling a black guy, hey, you're black. Yeah, no shit. Telling a hot girl, hey, you're hot. I've heard this every day since probably the age of 14. I've heard this. It doesn't register with them. So you have to do something more than just say frivolous, you're hot, or
That's the
bullshit,
thing too. Is I feel like this equates to sales. It equates to business. I mean, obviously, relationship building doesn't change no matter where you apply it. Like if you're applying it to trying to get women, whether you're applying it to try and get customers, whether you're applying it to try and get team members, relationship building is the same. It's all psychology. I mean, obviously, you play into the psychology of it. Like if I have a lot of applicants for the same position, then obviously they're going to value that position more. They see that a lot of people want it for one thing, so they want it even more. And so that's one big thing, the status of it all, right? I think that works with men trying to date, and like they want to have a lot of followers. They want to make sure that like they know that people know that there's somebody of status, that kind of stuff, the social proof kind of aspect of things. The same thing's true with your business and stuff too. The business with the most attention is the business. What's this one? Out just 500 different messages all across the board, right? Because they're like, volume wins to an extent. I mean, true, the more volume you have, the more results you're going to get. Yeah, but you could have more strategic volume. Like you could do better with it. You could get more results from it. Mm-hmm. And so that's one of the major things here is the fact that I think a lot of guys think that volume is everything when it comes to this. And so they just, they go follow all these different women. They go send all these different women the same message. They'll copy and paste it over and over and over and over again, just like these salesmen did. And so that's one thing that I noticed was I think that, volume wins. But I think that really what wins here is strategy. You got to have a certain strategy about it. You got to stand out from the guys that are blasting out those same messages across the board. Right. And at the same time, you got to know who you're speaking to as well. Mm-hmm. Like you got to know more about your prospect, know who you're speaking to so that you can build a better relationship. Right. And that's really what a lot of this comes down to. You can't just go out there and say like, oh, you're gorgeous. Hey, beautiful. And she's just going to notice you. What do you think she box and be like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that overall?
Yeah. And we're cutting out just a little bit. I'm not sure if it's you're cutting out, but
is it cutting out? Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, there's two different frameworks that you could work with, and you can do volume. You can go on every dating app and just like everybody. You can do that, but that kind of still conveys that you'll literally screw any hole. You don't care. Right. And that conveys so much to a woman is like, you're not valuing her at all. You're just, hey, anybody who likes me back, I'm in. Right. And that just doesn't convey any value at all. And then you are correct. So I always say it's the guy's obligation and duty to become so successful that they will notice you. that's your goal, is you focus on yourself. Be in the best physical condition you can be the best groomed you can be, look your best. You can be ugly, but you can still work with what you have your money on point, learn, like we've gotten some courses coming up on this, which is, just learning to pull all of this together so that once you become, if you want to call it full stack or whatever the hell you want to call it, you're almost like a magnet. People are going to be drawn to you. Charisma is another one. That's a whole course that we're going to put on. And women will notice this. Maybe not on social media, but you really shouldn't be finding the love of your life on social media. When you're out and about, then you become friends with them. And then from there, but you're not going to typically find your wife on Tinder. You're not going to find your wife on any of these dating sites. You're just going to find usually women that are community property on these dating sites and all this. So use it for what you want. And really, it depends on what it is that you want to do. If you want to be a player, if you just want to go out and have sex all the time with different women, well, then you need to use the law of numbers. And you're right. It's the more that you have in your pipeline, the chances are better that one of those are going to, get a hookup. I mean, that's just how it works. But that's not really value. To me, I'm 48. Maybe when I was 28, that might have been probably a good thing to do. But at 48, I'm just here to focus on me, and I'm here to actually generate my own attention. That is through their YouTube videos that you and I do. That's through all the different other companies that I have. I'm generating attention. I'm generating eyeballs on me. And by just doing that, not even focused on women or anything like that, people start noticing who you are. That's how I value of what would be a higher value man, where they're coming to you, you're not coming to them.
Well, I think the thing too is, like, with a lot of lower value men, obviously they don't have as much attention. They don't have as much going on in a lot of cases too. And so they can put their attention in a lot of places. And so they have to put more focus on the selective attention aspect, right? Because with women, it doesn't matter who she is, where she's from, whatever. She's got attention. She's got attention from a whole bunch of people. She's always got some kind of posse right behind her following, right?
Yes.
And so that's just reality for women. So they have to be selective. They really don't have a choice, because they just simply can't pay attention to every single person that comes their way. There's a lot of guys out there giving them attention. Not only that, like, they've got their family, their friends, all that kind of stuff too on the back burner. And so they do have to be more selective with their attention. And I think that the same thing is true for high value men. I mean, men of status, men who have a lot of money, men who are in charge of big companies, men who have large teams and stuff too, have to be selective with their attention. Like, they can only give so much attention to work, to home, to kids, to spouse, whatever it is, right? And so I think that a lot of these lower value men who have nothing but attention to give, they're pretty much, that's all they do all day, every day. They're just out there liking everything, commenting on everything, saying the same old stuff over and over and over again, jumping to every inbox they can see, just hoping for the best. But they don't realize that if they were more selective with their attention, if they had more things going on, if they were doing more to try and get that attention and doing more in their lives that actually kept them busier, they might actually be more selective with that attention overall.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing that these guys are doing is they're creating all of these, I call them basic women. They're, fours, fives, and sixes, adjustable sevens. Okay. They all think they're tens because as soon as they post a stupid duck face picture and they're reasonably attractive, but they have nothing else really, hundreds of guys, oh my God, beautiful goddess. It's shooting a fake, it starts shooting their image of themselves up. Oh, I'm a 10. Oh, I deserve a high value guy. Well, they're not out there because they're freaking working and they're not on Facebook. And so this is the pool that you get to choose from. The same men who are elevating you, thinking you're better than you are, those are your men. You guys all deserve each other. That's
The
how
thing, the
I
thing
do
is
it.
too, you're absolutely right about that. Like, I think of women, a lot of those types of women, especially, kind of
Mhm.
equate their value to the amount of attention they're getting.
They
And I
do.
don't think like the thing is too is with a lot of really high value women. Obviously, high value women value themselves, value their time, value a lot more of what they're doing, and so they're going to look for a more high value man to give them attention. And if
Mhm.
that high value man is giving them attention, they're worth something. If it's some girl who just kind of gets off on just the fact that she's got 30,000 simps pining for her, I mean, obviously she's a lot more shallow. That's really what matters to her, but that's how she equates her value, and that's
Yeah.
really what she sees. And so you can't really control that, right? You can never take her out of that kind of a situation and give her enough attention that's going to make sense for her. She's always going to be flaunting. She's always going to be out there putting out bathing suit pictures and
Right.
basically posting all over Instagram. She's always going to do that. She's never
Mhm.
going to stop. Not for you, not for anybody, because that's how she equates her value. And a lot of this stuff is psychological. It comes down to like the different traumas that we've dealt with when we were kids. Like if we got ignored when we were kids, maybe she has daddy issues. There's a lot of different things that kind of factor into that. But the
Yeah.
reason being is that you can't pull somebody out of that situation and expect them to change for you either. And so that's the biggest thing is like high value men and high value women have a place for each other, but it's a lot harder to get that attention. For men, obviously, any woman's attention is great in a lot of cases. You still
Well,
have to be
sure.
selective with it if you have a lot going on. But I think that women, like, they kind of equate attention to value. Like they want attention from the right person, but at the same time, you do have those shallow women who just want as much attention as possible because that's what they equate their value to.
Sure, sure. And yeah, they definitely want attention, but it's a drug. They want the dopamine hit off that. Like they again, guys, you have to understand if she's reasonably attractive or even if she's super hot, I would say ask yourself a couple of questions. Number one, if you saw her at Target, would you talk to her? You fucking wouldn't. You'd run to a different area of Target. Okay, because most men are just bitches. They're Monday morning armchair quarterbacks. They will heart and say you're a goddess, but that's about it. And women know that. They're like, cool, okay, Greg again hearted my picture or whatever. She recognizes two things: that you're a simp, and then she also recognizes she'll never have sex with you. That's what you're doing to all these women every time you do this. And then most of your high value women, whatever you want to call them, they're really not on Facebook. They're might post some pictures of their kids, but you're not going to see them posting in their underwear. You're not going to see them posting provocatively. You're just not
Right.
going to see it because, like you said, they value their body, they value themselves. Now, they'll share a little bit of their life. Hey, my kid's 7 today, or whatever. I mean, they'll share that. But really, guys, ask yourself if this girl is so hard up for attention, if she's so hard up every day changing her profile picture and every day posting kind of sexy pictures, would you even want her for a girlfriend? Because she's not going to change. She might limit it in the honeymoon phase, but she's not going to change. She's going to keep doing it because she wants the dopamine hit more than anything else. It's a drug to her. She loves the followers. We always say, you treat them like a celebrity, they're going to treat you like a fan. So don't treat them like a celebrity, you know? So that's the biggest thing with this, giving away your attention. Number one, it's going to mean nothing to her at all. And number two, even if she liked you, she's going to look back in all your mutual friends and all this, and she's going to see you're doing the same thing, which is going to just dry her up. She's going to be like, nope, not even interested in this guy anymore. So that's the problem with giving up your attention. And then really the other problem is you're not focusing on your brand. You're watering your brand down, but you're not focusing on your work. You're not focusing on maybe connecting with friends or opening up your circle more. You're online and you're just vomiting out bullshit. You're wasting your life. You're wasting your life.
Right. that's the thing too, is I think that a lot of men just don't have enough going on. Women, same way too. Maybe
Oh
like
yeah,
in the whole equation,
no,
just
yeah.
don't have enough going on. That's really what they value. That's where they spend their time. That's where they put all their attention, all that stuff too.
Mhm.
The thing is obviously women want your attention. Like if they're interested in you, they want your attention. So let's preface with that. First things first, we got to get them interested. We got to get them to notice us. We got to get their attention first. And at the same time, get them interested and kind of lead them through. A certain amount of effort too, skill set in its own, just to get their attention for one thing. But once I have their attention, they'll lose interest really fast to see that. And so that's
You keep cutting out, just so you know, Chase. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me, but looks like Chase. Oh, there you are.
I'm not sure what was going on. The internet connection, I think, just kind of left us for a second there. So I think something's going on with the internet today. Anyway, I can't really tell what, but yeah.
We were there for you for a minute, and I'm like, oh, I'm not sure if you guys can even hear me.
Yeah. Look, I think you were still live on there, as far as I can see. But yeah,
Oh,
it just is what it is.
yeah.
We might cut this one short today.
Yeah. We'll definitely have to, just because we don't want to keep doing that. But
Yeah.
as far as, I mean, we've kind of said it all, that we have longer form videos on this, and the bottom line is, the only thing you can really control is that, like, you have a choice every day. I have 24 hours a day. Some of that time I have to sleep. Some of that time I have to eat. I have to work. If you have kids, I got sport, whatever. You have to divide this time up, and you get to choose where your free time goes. To me, it sounds better to invest that time in going to the gym,
Right.
investing that time in learning new skills. And you said a lot, but obviously we're centering a lot of this on social media. But in order to get women to notice you, why don't you be in places they would notice you? So a perfect example is, let's say you want to learn a martial art of something. You have a passion. You want to learn kickboxing, or you want to learn karate. I don't effing know. Don't you think there's women want to learn that too? Bam, you already have something in common. Maybe you want to learn, a language or something, or you just want to go to school for business, right? So wouldn't you think women are there? They're going to notice you because you're sharing common interests. So this is how you would get out there and become not only bettering yourself, but you're opening up your social circle. Of course, you can do it going to a bar, but generally bars, it's always the same people there, and you're really not going to get, I don't feel, a very quality woman in a bar. I mean,
Right.
nor are you going to get a quality guy, but you could certainly go to there. Different events. I tell guys, listen, do you like dogs? Are you passionate about dogs? Well, maybe join a rescue. Who do you think is at rescues? Other women who are volunteering their time with dogs. Well, you already have built-in people. It's not hard to find good women. It's hard to find out where they're at. And you can't just say, well, they're there. What is it that you want to do? What are your passions? What are the things that you want
Right.
to learn? And there will already be women there. There's already going to be people in that circle that you can meet. This is how you kind of set yourself apart than just sitting on freaking Instagram and Facebook and these dating apps. Go live your effing life. Go out and learn stuff. Go out and expand your mind. Go out. The gym's a perfect place to meet a woman. you're trying to get healthy, she's trying to get healthy. I wouldn't suggest chatting her up in the gym, but certainly on the way out to the gym, certainly maybe if you're friends with her on Facebook and you just happen to notice she's at your same gym, that's a good opener to Messenger. Nothing creepy, but this is how you kind of set yourself apart, by being in your community, doing things, not over posting, definitely not posting, emotional vomit like I see guys doing, posting weird pictures, holding up a stupid fish and all. No.
Well, a lot of it too is, I think, it's just like finding the common ground. I mean, obviously, a lot of men will mess this up by thinking from her perspective, like, where am I going to meet the most women at? And a lot of men will tell you, like, well, the club, or you go to the bar or whatever. Like, that's where you're going to meet the most women, sure. But like, are you going to meet the women that you really want to meet, the women that you would really find meaningful to have a relationship with? Yeah. So that's one big part of this. And like, that's why you really need to find your hobbies. That's why you really need to identify what you like doing and think from that perspective. Right. And so a lot of people, like, especially when we first talked into getting into this program and stuff too, like, a lot of these guys just don't know what they want. They don't know what they like doing. They just haven't tried enough things. They don't have enough experience. I mean, but if you sat and thought about it enough, you would figure it out. That's why we have a lot of the mechanisms in place for really drawing that out of people when they first get into our program. Like, we actually have a lot of worksheets and things like that to fill out just to identify those things. Once we identify those things, then obviously your life's going to center largely around those different things. Even when I get into marketing, like, sure, I mean, I can go where there's people when I'm trying to market a business, but that doesn't mean everybody's my ideal customer. Right. If I go to a place where my ideal customer is, and there's a lot of those people there, then that's where I want to be. That's where I want to be marketing. I don't want to be over here at the Super Bowl marketing something that nobody cares about. I want to be over here in this little box marketing to the people that I know really want to buy my stuff, right? And so that's really anything that you do that has any hobby at all. If you like outdoors activities, you're going to meet people outdoors. If you like going to the gym, you're going to meet at the gym, right? From there, it's just finding common ground, like trying to find things that we're both interested in. We know we're both interested in certain things. Like, maybe she comes to the gym wearing a Game of Thrones t-shirt. You're like, oh, hey, you're interested in Game of Thrones. I don't know exactly what you're interested in, but you can find some common ground that way once you start to work into those things.
Yeah, that exactly. It's do the things that are going to move the needle positively in your life first. You matter first above finding a woman, any of that stuff. Once you get that part of your life that you really passionate about this thing, and there happens to be women in this same circle, or maybe there's a Facebook group on fitness, or I don't know, but this is how you set yourself apart. You don't want to just be like 98% of all the guys out there. Do the same thing, that I just described you do, and you'll have the same results. If you're trying to get a little bit different, if you're trying to level yourself up, that means you level yourself up. You don't do it for accolades. You don't do it for women. You do it for you. And I promise you, all of this hard work, it's kind of like they'll start noticing, like, they'll be like, who is this guy? I'm not saying a woman's going to fall from the ether on your lap, but people will actually know who you are. You might not know them. They might have heard from you. I'm in Syracuse, which isn't a very big town, but there's a lot of people who at least know who I am, and I have no idea who they are. I mean, they're like, hey, I saw your this post, whether it's through Scalp or through Magnetic Men, all these different channels, or hey, I saw your YouTube video. Oh, cool. You're giving out your attention. You're giving out your ideas in a positive way. To me, it's a positive message that I'm trying to relay to men. And then society comes and they start noticing these things. Nobody's going to notice if you say goddess 1,000 times to 1,000 different women. Nobody gives a shit. You're not special. There's nothing special. There's nothing special about any man. We're all born without value, and it's up to us to create our own value in this world. My son's 19. I love him to death, but I've told him from a very young age, you have no value. It's up to you to determine your own value. It's up to you to determine your own worth. And he's very young, but he's got a pretty good career that he loves with auto mechanics, and he's always going to different schools. He's always trying to learn more and more. He's saving his money. He's not out. He's only 19, but he's not out with a fake ID, drinking, womanizing. He's home a lot, watching YouTube videos on different types of car renovations and stuff. He's building his value. He understands at this young age, this is the time to learn. This is the time to shut the F up and learn. Watch other people and start doing the work.
Right.
Once he gets older, he's already going to have this built up kind of equity that he's already built. Do you know how many people know how to fix a car these days? Freaking nobody, So that's a good value to have. So the whole point is, if you're just sitting around giving out your attention, just take a step back and think, can I use some of this attention to level myself up? I have all of this free time. Why don't I go watch some YouTube videos on something that interests me, and then go find, if Kung Fu interests you, go find a damn studio and start learning it. If do a button collection, I don't know. Well, then I'm sure there's people that like button collections. The point is, do stuff that fulfills you. Don't worry about anyone else, and the attention will come within those niches.
Well, that's the thing too, is it's going to be a gradual thing. Like once you just get into focusing on what you would like to be doing with your time, on where you would like to spend your attention, just remove the whole aspect of getting girls out of it. Remove the whole aspect of trying to level yourself up, whatever, and just think like, am I enjoying what I'm doing and who I'm doing it with? It's all relationship building at the end of the day, and relationships lead to other relationships. So you might meet some men in the group that you're actually trying to be in, like other men who come in and train you as the physical fitness trainer, people who give you advice on nutrition, people who give you advice on like how to best, protect a pet that you found in the streets or whatever it is that you're interested in. You just get more interested in that thing. And then you just try to meet people who are also interested, not just women, but people in general, because other people will lead to other people. And eventually that stuff starts to come your way. You don't even notice it. And so that's the thing too, is like once people start to notice you, once you start to build those relationships up, once you start getting invited to go do more things, you can borrow experience from other people. Sure. And what a lot of people will tell you is that your net worth is your network. Yeah. Like whoever you know and whoever you're spending the majority of your time with is going to determine your net worth. Yeah. And there's so much truth to that people don't realize. Because if I'm spending all my time with a whole bunch of losers who really don't want to do anything with their lives, who would just want to go to the bar every single weekend, they don't want to do anything. And they're going to drag me down if I go and hang out with them, give all my attention to them, because they're not talking about anything that's useful to me. And so that's one of the big things that you'll start to learn is like whoever you spend the most of your time with kind of rubs off on you, and their worth becomes your worth. And so you want to spend your time with the right people, and people will lead to other people. High value people lead to other high value people, and those relationships multiply and duplicate and build. And eventually you're just living a whole different life, and you're putting your attention into those things. And eventually you'll notice somebody start to notice you. Somebody else tries to get your attention, right? So some of those women in that network will start to notice you and try to get your attention. And you'll start to see it in the peripheral. Okay, she's trying to get my attention. She really wants my attention. At that point, it's just engaging and holding that conversation and trying to find that common ground.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the other part that you kind of touched on a little bit, and I kind of failed to mention it, but there's a lot of social clubs out there that you can get involved with too. And they're just networking groups. And that's another really good way to maybe even help figure out not so much your purpose, but maybe you have some passions you don't really realize. You can go to these just clubs and these open houses and just meet people and see what they're all about. The thing is, you just need to get out there and open up your circle, because like Chase said, I mean, if you're hanging around with 6 losers, you're going to be the 7th. If you hang around 6 millionaires, you're going to be the 7th. It's going to happen. It's through attrition. It's through who you're with. And your attention matters more now than anything, because everybody's attention these days is like a goldfish. There's so much information hitting us millions of bits a second coming at us. This is why our RES filters out so much stuff. So what you need to do is figure out what it is that you want to do. And then your RES, reticular activation system, is actually going to kick in and start filtering out all the other BS in your life and focus on that. So Chase brought it up as, how do you get a woman to notice you? Well, you're actually, once you've leveled yourself up and once you're positive and she happens to just kind of notice you quickly through whatever interaction you have with us, her RES just kicked in. Now she's filtering out, like, who is this guy? He doesn't like my post. He doesn't really say much to me, but I met him the other night. Who is this guy? That's where the position you want to be. She'll make it easy. She'll reach out to you and say, hey, Bill, like, I saw you the other night. We've been Facebook friends for a while. Here's one story that I'll bring up. This is a few years ago. I started dating somebody. It's a shit show, but I started dating her and we went out for 2 dates and I didn't even realize we've been Facebook friends for 2 years prior to that. And then I messaged her. I'm like, I didn't even know we were friends. She goes, yeah, I know. It's weird because I get hit up every time by guys. You never did that. Weirdest thing ever. But that's what I'm talking about. You're going to meet them someplace else. Don't worry about this social bullshit that's out there. The people will come into your life who's supposed to come into your life at that certain time. And it's up to you to have just enough knowledge, just have something to offer them. Most guys have nothing to offer a girl. They just don't. And I know it sounds like a shit on men, but most of you guys do it to yourselves. You have nothing to offer them.
That's just it, though. Like, what are you giving your time and attention to? Your time and attention are your greatest currency. They really are, because they'll either level you up or they'll set you back. If you're spending all of your time and attention on video games, on porn, on social media, obviously those things are not building you. And so, like I said, really take a tally of how much time and attention you're giving those things. Yeah. Because if you spend your time and attention on things you really care about and you're moving forward towards those things, you're setting meaningful goals and you're watching yourself check that stuff off, that feels really good. And obviously that's going to build a whole different life around you. It's going to level you up in a whole different way. And nobody can tell you what you want, what you need in your life. That's something for you to determine. But ask yourself, are you spending your time and attention on the things that are meaningful to you? Because that's what's really going to set your goals. I mean, if your goals are just to meet women and that's all you really want to do and you want to spend all your time and attention going out to meet women, you're not leveling up. For one thing, you just come off as a simp. And so that's the idea that we're trying to get at here. The more you focus on you and the more you focus on the things that you would like to be doing and the more you kind of put those goals and that end vision in mind and you really value that more than you value comfort, more than you value not leveling up as a person, all that stuff. That's really what's going to dictate where your life goes, who comes into your life, how other people value you, how other people view you, and all those different things. Because if you're spending all of your time and attention just kind of wasting it on things that really don't matter, you're not really doing anything meaningful, you don't feel fulfilled doing what you're doing, then that's going to bleed through. That's always going to bleed through, and you're always going to come off as inauthentic and untrustworthy. And that's one big thing that's going to be a big turnoff for a lot of women. They're not going to trust you. They're not going to respect you. They're not going to respect you if you're not trustworthy, for one thing. And then you're not going to come off as trustworthy. You come off as unreliable when you don't take care of your body, when you don't skill yourself up, when you're not doing anything meaningful, you don't have a great job. That's how you're coming off to the world. And when you come off that way to the world, you know these things are true deep down. You know you need to work on these things deep down. It's not a secret. Everybody knows this stuff. 97% of the population is out there doing this pretty much all day, every day. They know they need to change. They know they need to do better. They know they need to be healthier. We don't need to tell them that. At the end of the day, though, it's a matter of, well, what are you spending all of your time and attention on? That's really the thing that's dictating the results that you're getting. And that's really the thing that's holding you back the most. And so it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you do something that you find meaningful and you feel confident doing it and you're learning more about it as you go.
Absolutely. You said it all right there. We could probably end the stream with that. I mean, can beat a dead horse or talk about it so many different ways, but really, this is the only life that you guys have, guys. And if you choose to sit there and give away your attention and do the hearts and likes and just do empty compliments to women, great. You're just gonna die really with nothing. I mean, that's most people are. It's just most men's lives actually get worse every year. And our job in our community is to help enrich men figure out what their passions, what their purpose, what is it that moves them in a positive direction. Because if we can do that, then everybody else in their life wins. Everybody, anyone who comes into their life wins. Everybody who's in their life currently wins. It all starts with you. So I think we'll leave it like that. If you guys have any questions on this, if you're kind of getting stuck on maybe it's a dating issue, maybe it's something like this, book a call with us. They're not free anymore, but the very first discovery call is $49. If you can't afford that, then I don't know what to tell you, but let's just jump on a call. Let's talk about this and see if we can put a game plan together to kind of help you with this, because sadly, it's about 95% of men are in this same boat. And I see it day in and day out. And I don't want you to be. You all have gifts. You all have talents. You just don't use them. So we need to help you get to that level where you're using them. And once you find those things and you're like, oh my God, I love this, you're not going to be on social media wanting to heart and like. You just don't have a purpose. That's all it is. You really just don't have anything right now. And I want to give you the tools so you can find what that thing is and go that direction.
Well, that's exactly what this program is all about. That's exactly what we've been trying to build into this program too. And it's like, okay, what exactly do men in our current society need? Because obviously men are undervalued in our society. Men are thrown under the bus. Men have the burden to perform. Men are getting weaker and weaker. The more these generations go on, things are just getting easier and easier. And men just aren't stepping up the way they used to. Yeah. And it's caused a lot of systemic issues in our society. And so we really believe in this. This is something that we really want to help and put out there. But the biggest thing is, how do we level you up, right? Think of it like a game to a certain aspect, right? Like you're playing an RPG, you're playing a role-playing game, you're leveling your character up. The thing is when you get into any video game or even any software, you start learning that stuff, you don't know anything. You get in there and everything seems scary. Everything's all over the place. We don't really know what direction to go in. We don't know how to do certain things inside of the game. But once we level our character up to a certain level, we just smash through everything. We just crush that game. We crush every single enemy, every single boss. We can go anywhere we want in that world, and we know we're going to crush. Mm-hmm. That's who we want to turn you into in real life. Yeah. And so that's how we've really built out our new application that we have coming out too. And it's all based around leveling you up as a person and watching yourself level up those different attributes and being able to see that meaningful result happening in your life. And first things first, you need direction and you need purpose. And really that comes from you. And so that's what our first call is all based around. That's what that breakthrough call is all based around, is identifying that. Like, who exactly do you really want to be? Yeah. What are your life goals? I mean, a lot of guys will tell you, okay, I want to earn $10,000 a month. I want to earn $100,000 a month. Yeah. I want to earn $1 million in my lifetime. Whatever it is, I would say set that goal bigger. Obviously, I want to earn $50 million in my lifetime. You can set it as high as you want. It's all a matter of what you think you're capable of. And so that's the biggest thing, is we're here to really put on the rails for you. Well, hey, I think you could do more. Can you bump that up a little bit more? Can you bump that up a little bit more? Have better goals. Where do you want to end up in life? What kind of legacy do you want to leave? And how are you going to feel like your life was a fulfilling journey for you? And so once we can identify that stuff, it's just a matter of exposing the gap. Well, who are you currently? What are you doing right now? And who do you want to be? And then we close the gap for you. That's really what this program is all based around. Maybe you need to be more charismatic. Maybe you need to be more confident. Maybe you need to get better at relationships and women. Maybe you need to be a better leader. Maybe you need more ownership, all that kind of stuff. It could be any one of those things, but it's really laying that plan out for you and making it custom to you that's going to make the most meaningful difference for you. And that's exactly what we're here for. So I would encourage you to take advantage of that breakthrough call first and foremost, and get into this application as soon as we build it out. And that's what our sole focus is in this, is just basically leveling you up into the character that you want to be so you can get out there and crush the world.
Sure. Yes, sir. Let's get after it, guys.
That's all we have for you guys today. If you guys are interested in this program, if you guys are interested in any of the confidence and charisma courses that we have coming out here this next week, let us know. We're totally here for you guys anytime you need us. Just comment below, go to our website, fill out the form. We'll get back with you guys and get you guys scheduled on those calls. Until then, we will see you guys next Friday with another one of these lives. Show up, have a conversation with us. Let us know what topics you guys want us to cover.
Thanks,
Have a great
guys. Have a
weekend.
good weekend.